you founded this company almost 25 years ago. What was the impetus behind this?
Well, let me tell you something. At the time that we started, it was kind of the dot-com boom. It was the
Mhm.
craze,
I know.
and 21-year-olds were being made millionaires because they were being funded by venture capital Wall Street
Mhm.
for their ideas for bread.com or whatever you want to call it,
Right.
paper.com. It was pretty crazy time. And at that time, I was working at an agency as a creative director, heading up their advertising division. They brought me in because of my background. My background was Madison Avenue creative, creating, big brands. And at the agency, no one really knew how to do what was then banner ads, which is the form of advertising. Nobody knew how to do
Mhm.
that. They were just doing, catch the monkey ball, all these crazy things that web guys are doing. So they brought in me, more of a branding guy, an advertising agency guy. If you watch Mad Men, that's kind of like what I did my entire life. So I
Mhm.
came in and I built up the online advertising division of K2. They went public. And that when I was the aha moment kind of came to me. The aha moment was, hey, I can do this. I could
Yeah.
write copy, I could write headlines, I could design, I could animate these banner ads. Hey, you know what? I'm going to put up a website. Let me see if I get some freelance work. So I did. I did. And there's a gentleman by the name of Andrew Keeler, who we were outsourcing banner ad production. He was probably making about 5 or 6 thousand a month from us alone. And he came into New York to meet with me. I was, a big client at K2, giving him a lot of work. And I said, Andrew, how do you get your business? And he's a really laid back dude. And he's like, Ken, he's like, dude, bannertips.com. I'm the only guy there. $50 a month. That's it. And I get business from around the world doing banner ads, and I'm making about $350,000. And this is 1997.
Mhm.
So I was like, aha, that was my aha moment. Okay. The
Mhm.
aha moment of, I guess, a convergence of capitalism and entrepreneurialism coming in together and capturing a moment that I just heard. So the next day I called in sick, Carol, and I went out to, I live in Long Island, and I went out to Riverhead, and I needed a
Mhm.
company, a DBA. So I needed a name, Lounge Lizard. Why Lounge Lizard? Well, one of my favorite jobs, Carol, was years ago when I was heading up Jose Cuervo and
Mhm.
doing liquor advertising. I had so much fun with that. So, and at the time, big agencies were coming out, Razorfish, Blue Marble, Blue Dingle, all
Right.
these really wacky and crazy names. So I'm like, Lounge Lizard, and I'm going to go out and get liquor business, which 25 years later, still haven't done it, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
So started the company, contacted bannertips.com, said, yeah, sure, we have a spot available. Well, there's only one, it was Andrew. So I went up, I gave him the $50. And about 3 days, I started getting inquiries, Carol, from Cape Town, South Africa, a company called VR Services. And they said, hey, we saw your portfolio online at Lounge Lizard. I think at the time it was graphics. I couldn't. The
Mhm.
.com wasn't available. I had to buy that years down the line for like $5,000. Um, so they're like, we need high performing banner ads to drive traffic to online casinos to get people to gamble.
Mhm.
So they tried me out with a batch of banner ads, and they outperformed the industry average. I think at the time was about 3%. They were getting 12, 15%
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah.
because of the creativity in these banner ads.
Mhm.
And so, Carol, I was doing these on the train to my commute to New York City from
Mhm.
Long Island.
Mhm.
I was cranking out these banner ads. And, the first month was about 5,000, next about 10, all of a sudden 15, 20. Then my wife, Sharon's like, you're making now 25,000 a month doing banner ads. You're doing them on the train. You're taking 3-hour lunches. You don't care if you get fired because you're making all this money. You're coming
Mhm.
home. You're working all night, right? Talking to Cape Town, South Africa at 2 o'clock in the morning. I think this is a business. I think, you got to go for this. So I started thinking about maybe this is going to be a business, a freelance gig turned to a business. So what I started doing is I'm a big believer in online advertising only if
Mhm.
it produces ROI, return on ad
Right.
spend. Not so I started buying up all the banner ad space on bannertips.com. I bought out all the inventory. And of course, Andrew called me and said, he's like, dude, what are you doing? Like I told you about this thing, and like you're all over the place. So I did that, and it just absolutely exploded. It exploded. Now I'm still working.
Mhm.
And in fact, there's an agency going public called IXL. They wanted to bring me up over the associate creative director,
Mhm.
and I lasted about a week. I was burnt out, Carol, absolutely burnt out. And now I'm getting business from around the world, like literally around the world. And then all of a sudden I get a call from Konica Minolta. And they're like, hey, can you come to New Jersey tomorrow for a meeting?
Mhm.
Now I'm like, oh, this whole virtual thing. Now I have to actually go meet. And Sharon's like, you know what? Quit your job. You're making money. You're always
Mhm.
doing the pitch man. You're winning big business for these agencies. You'll do pretty well on your own. Let's go for it. And we made the decision to quit the job and go for this thing
Mhm.
called Lounge Lizard.
Mhm. Ken, did you have any sort of a non-compete?
A non-compete. I did not have a non-compete. I did not have a non-compete with the agency I was at,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
all of the business that I generated was my own
Okay. I'm just
through
wondering
online
if they
marketing.
if they, if they had a
No,
tantrum when they found out you were
no,
leaving and starting your own
actually,
business.
no. That Carol, they were actually happy for me. They were
Mhm.
two friends of mine. We were actually friends.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we were friends. They were actually very, very happy for me and extremely supportive.
Mhm. So you've bootstrapped this whole thing. Has
Yes.
there ever been a time where you considered, I'd like to grow this bigger, and, to do that, do I want to take outside investment?
Well, we were approached when we came on the scene. There was a couple agencies that wanted us to go away, that
Mhm.
wanted to
Yeah.
buy us right
Yeah.
away,
Right.
and because we were getting all
You were
the
doing something
business,
right.
yeah.
Yep.
And so we got knocks on the door. Literally, someone actually walked into our office and said, "Listen, we want to buy you. Come work for us."
Mhm.
And the reason was because we were winning all the business. So, at that time, we were organically growing, and it
Mhm.
was growing at a very fast rate. So I didn't want to sell myself short, and I
Yeah.
really wanted to give this thing a go. So no, I said no to all venture capital. I said no to
Mhm.
private investors. I said
Mhm.
no to being
Mhm.
acquired.
Okay. And you haven't looked back.
No, Carol. No.
Mhm. Your business is super competitive. What sets you apart from, the red ocean of blood?
Sure. It's highly competitive.
Yeah.
There's I call it there's about three different levels of web businesses that are out there that do websites and digital marketing.
Mhm.
There's firms that specialize in small business for very
Right.
low, affordable rates for five, six, seven, $8,000. You can get a website, $1,000 a month. You get some marketing, $500 a
Mhm.
month, and that's fantastic. Um, then there's the large ones that won't talk to you unless you have about $1 million, right?
Mhm.
So we've carved out a niche in the boutique era, in the
Mm.
boutique category where we're not cheap, we're not super duper expensive, but we are expensive. We are pretty expensive. Lounge Lizard is expensive because it's a high quality product. It's
Mhm.
kind of like, when you buy a shirt, there's certain folks that will buy a shirt, they'll go to, Kmart, which is fine, or Marshall's, great, Macy's. But then there's a category of people that want a shirt at Saks Fifth Avenue and will pay
Mhm.
$300. So
Mhm.
we're a high-end design boutique, and we've carved that niche out.
Mhm.
And that's really been our niche
Mhm.
from from day one.
Carol Schultz here. Thanks for watching this excerpt from Authentically Successful. The conversation doesn't end there. So if you want to hear this episode in full and all my conversations with many other successful founders and CEOs, please visit verticalelevation.com/podcast.